Welcome back, everybody, to our final game here in Group B. This will be to decide our first place team between Macko and, of course, Movistar Raiders. After, of course, if Movistar win, they will have the 2-0 head-to-head against Macko, which would mean that even though they're tied in game score, the head-to-head gives them the advantage. But, of course, if Macko win, they end the groups with only one loss, 5-1, and will go through just by game score. So everything on the line here. There's the scores as they stand. Macko's only loss so far is to Movistar. As Movistar, that game behind, really need this win. Otherwise, they are going to be going through in second place.
All the marbles, as it were. You win, you're first place. Simple as that. So, Movistar need to find and recollect themselves at that 3-2 score. Bring about a little more consistency to not end at the 50% win rate 3-3. For Macko, seems like they probably just want to try and angle this as business as more or less usual of how they've been approaching a lot of the series so far. Acidy seems to be having a really, really good day today as well, so I'm very cautiously waiting to see potentially how Movistar want to try to play around that, because it feels like, to me, Movistar very capable in pretty much all lanes. But, you know, naturally playing towards the top side as an early game plan in a lot of metas, unless you're from pretty much the LPL, it's a bad idea. And teams just like to focus on getting the AD carries ahead because they are so potent and powerful in a lot of the late game team fights.
Yeah. And, you know, Movistar will be thanking Aegis for taking out Foot on the way out there. Was given a gift, so I was heading on into my room by Nymera, who was very pleased with the RE, gave his own version of the Medjais. He keeps one handy just in case. And, you know, it was a great win there to bring them down and secure this top two. Means there won't be a tiebreaker in this group, but just a quick heads up as well, guys. Over in Group C, if LDLC win their next game, they will be tied 5-1 with Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition, which would mean there would be a tiebreaker for first in that group. So we'll keep our eyes on that one, which might make things a little bit interesting. But right now, we have to keep our eyes on this game because the decider is happening here already. No bans coming through as yet, but it is Macko over on the blue side. And honestly, with the way they've been playing, perhaps against expectations, I've got to feel that maybe they're the favorites to come out with how they've been playing over groups.
I'll be very, very politically correct about how I dance around this. I think no matter how you slice it, it is Super League Seed 1, and Movistar have been on a massive tear, right? So,
but they did just lose to Malphite.
Yeah. So the real question is, where are they at? You know, mentally, what does that do to a team, right? Losing to AP Malphite when it seems like A just weren't really taking the game seriously. Perhaps for Movistar, a little bit of complacency in that game at first, and just kind of letting it slip out of their hands sits them in a situation now where, you know, they have to win in order to secure first place. It's in the quarterfinals, locked in, confirmed, of course, but you want the first seed, right? It's how you avoid Go. It's how you potentially avoid, well, of course, we don't know who the first seed is out of Group C just yet, but it's how you avoid the Wildcats as well, who looked pretty damn good. And you'd also hate to accidentally roll into the Heretics in the second seed. Your brothers in arms at the quarters.
Yeah, FLICKR in particular looking absolutely terrifying for Heretics. Got himself a pentakill. Even in the games they've lost, he's been a terror. For Macko, with some of those signature picks banned away against them, we'll first pick the Sejuani. Likely going towards Cboi, but we did just see it flexed up to the top lane in literally the last game, even if it didn't work out that time.
Yeah, I would still anticipate that it's a Sejuani jungle, and Movistar should likely just sweep up the Jinx and look for something like the Wukong. I think it's the very, very classic handshake here in more times than it isn't. Unless Isma's feeling like running a Lee Sin game or something other. I feel like those are the main options as well. I guess Viego, if you're sort of going down the list. He's obviously very much loved the Xin Zhao a whole bunch as well. So I think anything is really his MO. It just depends what he wants to really blind, only looking at the Sejuani. I think for Macko though, looking ahead, AD carries have been kind of trimmed down. I expect the Varus will come through just as a bit of a lane answer.
That is VZZ special. 1004 DPM on the champion on average over the split, as we were saying earlier on in the day, and this time it is up and available. Wukong for Isma, rather than something that Jinx that we've seen before. Kled's been pulled out before by the likes of Acidy, so maybe it's a lock-in again. We'll wait and see.
It's been
a little
banned
early
a
on,
lot
but there
too.
it is, taken in, and there's the Varus to boot as well. It's a couple pocket picks, couple of comfort picks for Macko, who are definitely ready and willing to throw down.
Yeah, it's caught a ban earlier, and it's been banned throughout the main stage, I think more times than it hasn't. So Macko throwing down the cards here as Marky is going to take the Malphite into it.
AP Malphite mid, just to show
It's gonna feel a little bit sore looking in Malphite, and you know, I've been in team environments. I'm sure everyone was giggling as they locked this in, considering what happened in the previous game. Or they're not, and they're very, very stoic about the situation. It's one extreme or the other. That's all I can really say. As the silence banner come through makes sense. You've got Malphite. You have to move it away when you're looking at Sejuani on the opposite side. I suspect as well another very strong mid lane setup will be removed just to kind of trim away at that pool, and then for Movistar looking for a strong mid lane pick to pair up with this Wukong. I guess the options are kind of aplenty, and you're running a bit of a front to back comp either way, so you could look for something kind of safe like the Azir, something like LeBlanc as well, kind of being banned away signals something very scaling in my mind, something that doesn't really want to be disturbed in the early game or have itself be set up upon. Ahri as well could obviously be a very strong pick, just in the sense of having the Jinx, having the Ahri next to it, the resets, the first kill, super important. It's banned away. It's banned away. Yes. Okay. Well, the Lyssandra's also gone, which is technically falls under that same category. So I think that's also a good.
These AP skirmishes are gone, right? Like, you're kind of running a lot lower on that pool now.
Yeah. I mean, you start to look at the thing. Yeah, Akali could be a good takeaway if Fresskowy wants it. I was also going to suggest the Orianna, just for the sake of
with Malphite and Wukong.
Comp's pretty strong. It would 100% lean you into we are waiting until 2 items. So I like this a little bit more, because this kind of brings a similar flair of wombo combo, whilst also actually providing a lot of strong skirmish in the early game. So Fresskowy likely piloting this Gragas, unless it's a support Gragas. Smile. We'll wait and see. I doubt it.
It's a Mickey X special. Let's go.
Mickey X special. So for Macko, I mean, the Gragas coming in, it could actually make them
top,
double think.
Gragas jungle, Malphite mid.
Yeah, I mean, Gragas probably does pretty okay into the Kled, if I had to wager a guess. But we mentioned the Akali in passing as a takeaway pick for Movistar. And the obvious...
Good with that Sejuani.
Yeah, the obvious reason is really good with the Sejuani. 610, of course, is a bit of an assassin specialist. And it will be locked in by him. So gets a very exciting game. A lot of CC to dip and dive around displacement too. So he's going to have a pretty phenomenal game to get on top of Supa and just perfectly execute him out of this one, and Nautilus will come through. So solid engage, solid front line, solid dive, a little bit of poke, strong DPS between Kled and Varus. I like where the composition is going. It's got a very clear direction, and Movistar look at that and go, yeah, I think this is a bit of a Renata angle. Try and turn everybody on each other, cause massive amounts of disruption, whilst we've already got things like the Gragas and the Malphite to run that as well.
Will be 610's first game off the Ahri this entire tournament, and only his third ever game of Akali. Of course, I've been playing a couple years, so not the most time under his belt as a player, but even so, not a pick he's put huge amounts of time into as yet. Of course, things like the Aurelia and the Ahri, very much more his notable picks, but still, as we've said, a very strong pairing with the Sejuani, and very important game to be pulling out a champion like that. But into a Malphite, a Wukong, a Gragas, the Renata, Jinx backline, the wombo combo from Movistar Riders is just extreme.
Yeah, if Marky finds his target like once and the rest of the CC comes down, it's gonna feel quite bad. Bomba is the name. I was present when we witnessed the first ever Malphite pentakill the other day from Arla.
I was watching that as well. I was like, what madness was that? They still lost the game.
They still lost the game. Because, you know, shout out to Forest. Apparently, Arla decided to, and I quote, ult his garage in the next team fight afterwards. I have no idea where Forest will be watching EMEA at this time. But, you know,
just DM the clip afterwards.
Yeah, just DM the clip afterwards. But yeah,
it's just gonna get a deluge of clips from people watching. Like, by the way, Forest, the casters told us to. It's all your fault, Jamada.
It is. It is. Yeah. It is mine.
What are you gonna do? I'm not even saying why. It's just generically, it's your fault.
Yeah, it is. I'll continue to be a memer. That's what I'll do. It's great fun.
You are one of those people who just enjoys like stirring the pot just a little bit, just a little bit.
You know, I think the general thing is as well is I'm quite a laid back person. I'm gonna make this cast about me for like 30 seconds until it's actually.
It's always about you, mate.
It's always about me. I'm just so egotistical.
Yeah.
But
hate to tell you this, mate, but I'm just glad you understand.
Is this how I find out? It's just confirmation from you. But yeah,
someone had to tell you.
It's always good fun, you know. I love to act professional, but then stuff happens on the Rift, and I just can't keep myself together anymore. You know,
the little grin comes out, the palms begin to rub.
Yeah, League of Legends is the trigger, and Marky is gonna eat the end of this. What's it called again? Bear Trap on a Rope.
Bear Trap on a Rope. Yeah.
Great name.
Does Bear Trap on a Rope beat Rock though? Because obviously Scissors beat Paper last game.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Now, level 2 for Cboi, and this could
Probably
just
a
be a
point,
walk-in.
Oh, he's just not even bothered pressing the Arctic Assault button yet. Alvaro taken pretty low. Ignites popped on both sides. One final Q would do it. Not going to find it. And Supa gets to turn this one back around. And actually, the Jinx is the one with the higher health bar. That was a unusual sequence of plays. And now down comes Isma. And he's got a full HP bar and a Varus to deal with. He's got no flash. There'll be a Nimbus Strike available. It's a good dredge line to buy space, though. There's the Nimbus Strike forwards. Will likely have the clone back up shortly. They just get to walk away. Okay. That happened, I guess.
Okay, sorry, I have to sit back up in my chair.
Yeah, okay, Shimada, explain.
So, you know what, observers? If nothing's gonna happen in the next, like, minute, I would like a replay of that. I know I might be asking a lot. I apologize. But there's a lot to break down in that massive sequence of shenanigans.
Such an egotistical thing to ask.
I know, but it's just really, it's really strange because the setup from Macko was genuinely quite good, but okay, so
observers are the best.
Right, so Cboi here, I know he's not highlighted in the bottom left, but he actually skills W as he walks up instead of just skilling Q.
What?
And proccing Aftershock and getting the chase down it. So I don't know why he does it, but then what it prompts is Supa auto-attacking him down, stacking lethal tempo, having the range for the rockets, getting a lot of poke back in return. Cboi has to return back to farming because, of course, he has to. Isma comes out of the bush with decoy, doesn't have Q's level because he's level 2, doesn't flash the dredge line, and then just ease onto Click. Flash comes out from Supa because he's about to hit level 2, but the creeps are there, so
I've lost it. I'll take over for a minute. I've got to give Adrian a second to recover himself after the scenes that were witnessed. Let's go!
Why is there
it's
a
level 2 Jinx? Let's go! Piercing arrow, blind stacks. Go on, Jinx. Surely falls. No, the turret shot. Oh my god. Okay. Halo Varus gets the kill.
Oh my god.
Bring it right down. What bot lane is? I don't know. I don't know.
Get me out, man. What's going on? Is this the replay?
Okay.
So Supa.
Okay, yep.
How does he end up in it? Like,
he's reset. He reset after the bot lane play, so he went back for Cole.
I mean, yeah, but he's also so far away from level 3 as well. He's like,
yeah,
he's like half a level or so away. So it's just a very, very peculiar set of plays going on the bottom side. Now, this picture-in-picture was quite interesting because we saw Acidy was demounted.
I didn't see it. I was staring at Jinx. So, sorry about that. What happened?
It's fine. So Acidy was demounted. Isma was around to maybe try and take advantage of that, but nothing unfolds in front of our eyes, and it will just be a bit of a dissipation of pressure, which is great because I feel like there was a bit of pressure building up behind my eyes, also known as attention migraine. It could have been prompted from the gameplay.
Super! He's not having a very super day, I don't think. He's about to find some of the wrong ends of Permafrost and a dredge line of VZZ. The 1000 DPM Varus Maestro gets a second kill on the bot side as top lane. SD about to dismount and Marky on this Shamrock Malphite.
Oh, he's queued the wrong way!
About to do so much damage. He's queued the wrong way. Oh my days. That's an unfortunate rebound down the blood. He's remounting. Joust forward. Lands him in the pet. Oh my god! He's just clapping him on down. My god, he still gets the kill and the level up.
Oh my god, the remount there. Marky doesn't have lethal to kill him whilst he's off the skull. And because of it, Acidy just spaces him perfectly, gets the remount off the double Q. And the
right way.
Yeah, maybe he did Q the right way. Maybe we're just miseducated. As 610 There's no mana available to Fresskowy.
Nice attempt. Doesn't quite make it work. It's the bot side. Okay, I've lost your mana again. He's giggling his way to another kill. We will see what the bad line there because of course Clickers roam. Now Isma's in danger. Down into a bailout he goes, but I don't think there's any bully on this game. But he goes. I don't know. They lost.
This is a serious
already.
game. I'm so confused.
No, this is for first place in the group, and it's just been madness.
Oh my god.
Adrian is losing it because the players are too super. This time around gets out to safety, but it has been so many back and forth. He gets hit with the hail of arrows. Super no!
Just let the silence sit, Sam. Just let it sit. Don't say anything. Oh no. Wait, what? He's level 5. He's like level 6.
Oh, he's still gonna get the kill. There's nothing to be done. He's got the kill. Surely Pamphos won't be enough. Marky gets the kill. I guess so.
This is the funniest game of League of Legends I've cast in a while.
It is absolute madness on the Rift.
Okay.
I don't think it is okay. That's the problem. It's been anything but okay. There has been murders abounding everywhere. 7 kills in 7 minutes in some of the most extraordinary fashions I've seen in a very, very long time. Isma's back, maybe to right the wrongs of the earlier gang. Here we go again. It's a route of the level 3 Nautilus, but it's a massive change of corruption. And a dread cycle Isma in place of VZZ on the rampage. Throws down the hail of ours to get more slows. The Blake stacks are coming on through. And Alvaro, I don't think there's anywhere to go as Cboi comes Arctic assaulting in and puts Renata on ice. It's a double kill to VZZ in the mid lane. 610 having to try and escape from Fresskowy, and Marky, who's come roaming on down, has used that ultimate. But now he's no longer unstoppable and can try and get up towards Acidy and does escape. Yes.
Huh. Well. And this is it's a nice nightwear of it. I mean, this is actually a really nice setup from Alvaro, I will say. Using the handshake to push Click back in to the chompers is a pretty, cheeky CC setup. The unfortunate situation is that Isma gets dredge lined and then subsequently chains corruption underneath the tower, and Cboi shows up for the confirmed slow to give BZZ the second kill in that play. And second kill in the play, but he's also 5-0, and he's up 2,000 gold on Supa. So,
if you're wondering why it gets banned against this guy,
yeah,
maybe this. He and Click know how to play around the kill combos with this Varus Nautilus combo, that is for sure. Holy moly.
They do indeed. They've been very, very powerful in this 2v2. Let's see how much they can continue to snowball, right? And the Dragon's still up on the table. Herald is up at the same time now.
And Snowball's doing on A-Rams, I'm sorry, and they've been playing around bot lane. That's not even, everyone in mid.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
my bad.
That's
do you know
a really silly combo.
What's also really common in A-Ram?
Yeah. What?
Malphite pressing his R key on the assassin.
True.
And look where he is. Yeah, he's been spotted though. But look how many members are here. Doesn't matter. No people.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is also important is Herald has spawned. It is 9 minutes into the game. Neither Dragon hasn't been taken either. It doesn't look like Movistar have decided that they don't want to contest right now. Will instead look over towards this Dragon as a trade for the objective. But I can understand why Macko have preferenced the early goal-generating objective because of how far ahead the likes of this Varus is. You can put it down towards Varus or help either your solo lane as well, and they will be very happy with a turret plate injection, that's for sure.
Yeah, Akali spikes really, really hard on 1IM, so giving her the gold will feel good. Acidy already up in the lead. Also Kled. I wonder what Acidy's building first. So, I've actually spoken to an abnormal amount of Kled players.
Same. There's quite a few of them, and there's quite a few of them in Europe. So hang on.
He's alright.
Marky's gone and ulted. No, he's not. He's not fine. He's gonna go for a rematch. He's flashed forward. He's got the ignite. He's going forwards. He's jousting with the best on the opening ignite coming through. What is he doing? Flash forward from Marky. Kamiri turns around and just dies.
What? Okay, and there we go. Dredge line.
Right,
More like it.
There's a massive turnaround, chains of corruption, and the glacial prison. Isma is down into a bailout, but there is nothing to save. That company is going under, and the Monkey King is dethroned, and a 6th kill over to Varus. Lose the top side play, win the bot side Scarish.
Yeah, all is good in this side of the world. I just...
Yes.
Yeah, we'll say it like that. And like you were mentioning, right? VZZ being so far ahead, it's just really easy to actually leverage this lead. The damage difference is absolutely mad. Brings in 10 over as well. And now you just get to take almost every single play off this tower. Malphite's coming down, but he's a Malphite out all. So That's just a big, scary-ish, kind of intimidating at most.
Mildly
Definitely
threatening.
funny looking.
Mildly threatening.
Malphite, yeah.
Oh, there's the casting
okay.
afterwards. That was pretty good. That is definitely more than just a little threatening. Click taken out. Still get that one, but now they're maybe giving a little bit of room for 610 to start trading on back. After Gasol in, they're going to stack the permafrost, and that means Marky got nowhere to go. They're waiting for an ultimate available for 610. Can't quite get the execute. Survived, but with the flail will secure the kill nonetheless. Cboi taking low. Isma throws down that crushing blow, but can't quite secure the kill. Movistar comes backwards, flash for the part of that body slam, and it gets the kill back as well. 2 for 1 in favor of Movistar Riders.
All right, 2 for 1. Movistar claiming a little bit of gold back. Starts off with the pick onto Click with that cask from Fresskowy. But the original play was all the way down at the bottom. We won't get to see it in this replay, but just chasing down Click, Fresskowy right into the waiting arms of this slightly less than intimidating Malphite with no armor. And the very least sets him up to pick up that kill. However, the Malphite gets chucked out quite heavily in the extended trade. Doesn't quite die, actually, to the perfect execution. Kind of surprising at that HP threshold.
Yeah, I thought he was dead as well.
But I guess we're just so used to really fed late game Akali's, mid game even.
I've been watching enough Cream to assume that kills.
Yeah.
But now you've got out of nowhere, Fresskowy 3-0 on this Gragas. Stacking up towards Seraph's Embrace, and with the rower complete as well, it will be an increasingly frustrating target to deal with. 610 still yet to complete an item. So we'll see why the damage packs isn't there as yet. As you said, Spike's really hurt on the one item before that. A little less threatening. It is going to be the Ravenous Hydra first on the Kled. It's kind of one of the more standard options you can go towards. As Herald's going to be dropped towards the bot lane to double down on this already incredibly fed Varus.
Exactly. Just get it further ahead. Why not? It does mean, though, bigger target on BZZ's head, right? If Movistar can actually take him down,
that's a lot of goals.
Then the gold, all of a sudden, the game just starts to feel a lot easier. And I mean, look at the tools you've got. You've got Malphite, Gragas, Wukong, man. Like,
and Varus known for his mobility, definitely able to get out of those. That's a champion.
Honestly,
that's what the champion's known
I'm
for.
not gonna lie. If I was VZZ, I would have considered going like Gale Force, something silly, just for the extra dash, like just so I can. I mean, I
understand the Immortal Shield, but maybe saying like, actually, in fairness, like, I was talking with a couple AD carry mates the other day. Like, Gale Force into Malphite, not worth it. It's not fast enough to dodge the ult, even if you press it at the same time.
Really?
It's not quite fast enough, I think, apparently. And so, unless you are like incredible,
unless you're like max range from the Malphite and you can see it coming.
Very tricky. Yeah. So often you're better off going for something that will allow you to stand and deliver a bit better, or just flashing is the other option. Is not again, absolutely not under tower. No, surely not.
I've seen it too much this game. You know,
disappointed dad Jamada's out, guys. You should be really like, guys, time to write an apology letter and make sure that disappointed dad Jamada,
it's when you're playing solo queue and you know the whole map's doing well and the top side is, boring at worst. And then you just say, you know what? Hey top, please play safe. And then that's what you see when you quickly window to top. Yeah.
It's just, you look around and everything's on fire. Your Kled's diving a Malphite and losing. And this is after what was actually a really good dismount play earlier on. Or remount play, rather, is where I should phrase it. But now, a couple times under that tower has misread the damage, and I'm sure somewhere out there, the likes of Broken Blade and Finn are shaking their heads as our resident Kled aficionados in Europe and EMEA in general. Dragon goes down. That'll be one apiece now. But Macko still pretty happy with the game. They're up about 3,500 gold. Yes, the Kled's died a couple times there. Yes, that Gragas in the mid lane. It's pretty scary. But unfortunately, on the other side, your star carry in the Jinx is way behind the curve. And this Varus is still pretty difficult to contend with, even if you have got the tools to get to him. He's got a lot of bruises and bodyguards around him to maybe make you regret diving too deep.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I feel like for Macko's lead, if their composition was slightly different, a more traditional topside pick, for example, I feel like things would actually not be as secure as potentially they look, just because of how much lead is actually front-loaded into BZZ. Because again, I feel like the tools are so easy to access that if BZZ mispositions like once, he is gonna die. Like, it's just kind of how it is as an AD carry.
But it's not just any Varus, it's VZZ Varus. It's the champion he is. So iconic for James the Corrupt to come through an Isma. He's gone VZZ godlike, and that's what he'll try and be this game. He has been on fire despite the madness, despite the misplays in bot lane. The comedy of errors there may have been, but all those errors have just led to VZZ picking up the pieces to 7-0, up 40 CS. And in every position now to take this game into his own hands and wrest a first place from this group against a huge run of expectations. LVP, LFL, who the hell are they? As ACD though, Acidy, I apologize, in a difficult position. Gonna be bombarded by both the enemy solo laners trying to find his way to a remount. Not miles off. Does get to the remount, but it's still a tricky position. May need to charge on out. Does still have the flash available. Gonna have to demount again. He just doesn't have anywhere to go. Will hold on to the flash to decide I'll use that another time.
Takes a while for him to die, but always dead in that situation. Could have maybe tried to like flash past them all out.
Yeah.
Remounted, but problem is, I feel like Marky probably, well, he's quite low on mana. I'm not sure if he used it to clear the wave or not, but maybe just ults in front of him and then just body blocked it anyway. So very tough situation to be in. Just pull out on the side wave, gets a little bit greedy. Just one more wave. Famous last words, as he says.
Every top laner ever has done that.
As he holds his 100 and I think it was a cannon wave, so like 180 gold to the grave.
It's not lost plateaus, it's even more gold. It's 5 more gold, 10 more gold.
Oh, yeah.
See? Yeah. Lost cannon wave. I don't know what that is.
Lost cannons. I
don't know. I'm butchering Spanish there. I'm gonna get a DM from Noah like, what are you doing?
Yeah, hold on. I'm currently looking. Is canon actually different in Spanish? Because I'm very English. Well, I say I'm actually speak more language, which is better than most English people.
I speak okay Japanese, because I live there for a while, so so
oh my God,
like a necessity. Well.
I got bored. No, there's a difference. I just got bored in my gap year. Anyway.
Let's maybe talk about the game rather than other countries. Is mid lane wave is beginning to come on through. Teleport to the mid lane as well. Alvaro was hit by the Glacial Prick, but onto Choppers. Oh no. Does manage to get down the Twilight Shroud. Lucky 610 alive, and in goes Acidy. Alvaro taken desperately, no, but not out. Trying to turn this one around with the Cyclone, with all the wombo combo in the world. They get the Nautilus, but Cboi just about to fight for now. Isma flashes forward for another hit onto the backline. VC flashes on out, but now Fresskowy needs to get on out to safety as well. 2 for none in favor of Movistar Riders. They get a 5v5 for the first time, and they finally win something.
Doesn't look too bad, does it? Front to back, super untouched. He's not got the items, though, to really unload, and VZZ was also entirely left to wail on the front line, but so tanky that he actually can't finish off a health bar. Everyone on Movistar definitely playing around on the edge as it kicks off this engagement to Alvaro. The ultimate definitely keeps everyone in place a little bit longer, whilst the TP doesn't really get backed up for a while. Acidy just kind of haphazardly goes back in, but Kled sees it, and he feels like he wants to join his brother in the top lane as he ends up in the grave. Great cask as well to not only bring the Sejuani back in, but also stop 610 from potentially finding any more aggression as VZ is forced to flash. And that's the crucial summoner spell out of this replay. That is the consequence of this play now, moving forward for the next 5 minutes, is that with no flash, he's going to be very vulnerable, but he's recognized it and has a stopwatch. So, can he time it to not get slammed? That's it. That's the entire game now.
I feel like that. I think that might have been that team fight. Probably.
Yeah. That'll be top to bottom. I think the pictures were probably supposed to come. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Also worth pointing out that for all that VZZ has lost his flash, everyone but Marky on the other side had to burn their flash in that last engage as well. That means someone like Supa being down the flash also pretty critical when you're into Kled, Sejuani, Akali. There are some ways for Macko to return the favor that Movistar Riders will be trying to put down, but now getting started, vision control as match goes. Yes, there is a mid lane turret to maybe grab from Movistar, but they are going to start coming on forwards. Charge back though, 610 on the flank, Dragon secured. Acidy taken pretty low, but not out and not dismounted critically as well. And speed zone. Kled puts down. Not going to be turned around, but now Fresskowy going in, gets on the Cboi, but it's going to be permafrost and taken low by the Glacial Prison. Cboi being run away, taken down on the other side. Marky so desperately low. Not out though. Has got a bailout. 610 hit with the ultimate. Is into a Twilight Sound. There's the bailout, but it will not be coming to much. VZZ legendary again. Alvaro taken out by Acidy. Going to remount. Now Isma is in danger. VZZ trying to back away. Fresskowy does
Supa
force
just needs a
610
reset.
flash. It's Click doing his absolute best. Acidy dismounts. He needs to try and escape. The rockets come flying. Supa is scary. Lot of rockets to run with. Isma very low. Acidy needs a blast cone. Supa gets excited now, can start to run after the others. Isma being attacked by the red buff, but will head back towards claiming it. And in the end, it's a relatively even fight. It is Macko that pick up the Infernal. Let's have a look at it one more time.
Yeah, it could have been so much worse for Macko in this instance. Supa just couldn't find a health bar after the first one to actually get excited again. Takes down Cboi. And even though Marky kind of, you know, is left to the wayside, had the bailout on him, the idea is go in, try and burst the target, get revived with a little more HP than what you're actually working with. Doesn't work out for him, it seems like. As the remount comes through from Acidy, the cast also keeps 610 and VZ from approaching the choke. Supa caught in two minds, wants to go forward but doesn't want to risk getting turned around on and decides to come and help Isma deal with Acidy on the side. Don't blame him, maybe felt like it would be a faster kill to take down, but doesn't end up snowballing too much further. Gets a kill for the good, brings himself back into the game just a touch more, but he's still quite far behind, looking for a potential play over the wall. Movistar, they won't find it, however. They'll just kind of sit on their hands for now.
8-0. Stopwatch, 2 items complete. Chain Destruction goes wide. Isma going to be hit with that Glacial Prison. Mid-dash goes down. Can't secure VZZ. Legendary once more, a 9th kill of the game for this the Italian representatives AD carry. Sorry, but body slam was the word I was looking for over the wall. So I flubbed that just one little. And now, just looking to bait around this Baron. Movistar Rider's going to come over and contest. They're going to need to. They're down their jungler. 4v5 and 610 on a flank. This is a difficult position.
Yeah, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. Movistar don't really have any armors besides Marky and Supa. Actually, the Zerk's there as well. It's definitely playable, but they have to be careful. 610 on the side.
VZZ Golden's that attempted ult, but the choppers come down afterwards. Will cleanse out of that. Acidy trying to remount. Baron is secured by Cboi. Fresskowy taken very, very low. Supa ignited, not down as yet. Acidy goes charging on board with his jump. Dismounts, trying to get the kill to the Jinx, but she's just about alive. 1-6-10 though, he's got his cameras flying. Will get a kill, and it is a wash in favor of Macko. Fresskowy taken up by the Glacial Prison that comes right back off cooldown. And Macko break the game open once more.
Starts with Cboi's armor, ends with it. Macko get the Baron, get the skirmish. And this could just be the very start. The first seed run in to quarters for them. Movistar just could not find the damage where it mattered. 4 versus 5, you can't fault them for trying to stop that Baron from going over. By doing so, they may have just gifted over what chance they did have left in this game. We'll see. It's a big gold lead, and I've seen bigger thrown, honestly, within the last week, so I will hold my breath for them. As the Runans comes in for Supa, and that could be crucial, right? Just that little bit of extra splash damage, but you take a look at the other side. Zonya's finished up now for VZ, always going to have the stasis, which saved him in this moment here as Marky steps up, presses the ultimate bite to max range, gives VZZ too much time to respond. All the while on the backside, Fresskowy caught in a 1v1 against 610, which he's not winning. Great death charge. Body block, I guess, actually, but for Supa, either way, doesn't mind, gets jumped onto. It was a great berserk to keep everybody on Macko in place, but the CC does not last long enough, and no one on Movistar can really get out meaningful damage all the while.
How many times have the PG Nats turned up to EMEA, and how many times has it been Macko that have been the ones to lead the charge? How many times have they fallen short of making it to the knockout stages? They are about to not just do that, but to do so in first place against the first seed from the Superliga, against one of the LFL teams in their groups, against one of the Turkish teams in their groups. That is no mean feat at the best of times for any team. And they're about to do it in really quite extraordinary style. All those Italian League of Legends fans out there, it is so close, but it's not done yet. The job's not done. Cboi said it earlier in the interview, but it's the turnaround here for Movistar Riders. They get Click, and maybe, just maybe, threw a little bit of a curse down. It's not done yet. They've got to finish the game off. Yes, they're in the lead. Yes, they've got the Baron. Just lost a member, and you've still got to be aware that the later this game goes, the more deadly that wombo combo becomes. The madness in the early game beginning to give way to a little bit of tension. 6-10. I'm afraid there's a collapse coming on through. They're onto the Dragon. They're going to try and get onto the Akali in trade. Slow comes down from the seismic shard. But Dragon's whole point secured. 6-10 gets out to safety.
That's for now. Just holding on by the skin of their teeth, and that's always the problem with the Jinx composition, isn't it?
Yeah. Skin of your teeth is enough.
Yeah. If that Jinx doesn't go down, and the resets start to come through, things get scary.
For scarier difference, Varus. With a Zhonya's completed, by the way. He's going for the hybrid build.
Indeed. Death Cup likely on the way. And when that comes in, the Blight stacks are just going to deal so much extra damage. Honestly, I don't know, 6 taking backwards, we'll talk about that. You know what? Like, brief moment.
We were doing so well at being serious.
We were. But like, brief moment as well.
Yes.
Must we have a little bit of downtime here?
Yeah.
Someone needs to do something about AP Varus, man.
It's terrifying.
It's genuinely it's too strong, you know. But also it's so niche because you know, going AP, you lose a lot of the core strengths of like any AD version of Varus, that you kind of make up for it in, you know, what our air quotes as you know, a weaker laning phase, I guess.
Sure.
But it is so obnoxious, the full AP builds.
Even full AP.
It's not even full AP, this one.
I mean, there's a world where maybe as the game goes on, that Immortal Shield bow gets traded out, but you kind of see the thought behind this, because look, we were saying, look, Varus into all these ways to engage onto him and have a really tricky time. Zhonya's makes it so much harder for Marky. Having the Immortal Shield bow with that additional HP on top of it, alongside all those beefy frontlines and a Locket Shield and the Radiant Virtue healing and all those things, it's a lot harder to deal with this Varus, and there's so many HP stackers who do not enjoy those AP empowered Blight stacks. We've all seen the clips of Cho'Gath being one-shot by an AP Varus, even if this one won't be as AP heavy as some other ones. Is still going to find the engage in, but that's one for VCC. Flashes on out, still has to stopwatch. Maybe we've spoken too soon. Golden, but has no flash available. Gets the cask afterwards. Is this their moment? They get the shot down. He's dead. The king is dead. Regicide complete. But what about the turnaround? His retainers will not take lightly to their liege being slain. They get 2 back already, and they blew their entire load on trying to kill out the Varus. But they have nothing left in the tank, and despite putting the pedal to the floor, the car just can't go any further. They're dead in the water. They're dead on the motorway, and they lose 3 to kill 1.
There's a pump action shotgun play, and they only had 1 shell in the chamber. Movistar, unfortunately, even though they take down VZZ, he has so much of their damage at this point. 6-10, Ace Acid, they're just there. They're online. They can deal the damage. They can return it onto the front liners. It doesn't really matter. Ultimate from our Fog of War. VZZ can't react in time. Jumping comes through. Double knockups. Sure, Zhonya's complete. Supa, I felt like this was going to be the moment, because he actually, despite being in the mixer here, stays alive for so long. But the AoE damage between the Kled, great Zhonya's as well. From Acidy, the stasis comes in huge. There's just too much CC. Number 1, it's going to be so frustrating. Back to back.
Time stands still for no man, but it will for Yordle, apparently. Important moment for Acidy. They get into the backline. No, we're saying this Varus, absolutely the point of focus, but still got the Akali, 2.5 IQ, 3 IQ Kled. There are other damage threats, and if you have to blow absolutely everything to kill the Varus, and he's already done a lot of damage, you don't win the ensuing fight afterwards. Charging on after, Baron down, this time looking to make the engage themselves. There'll be a hostile takeover available, surely. Chains of Corruption come on through and lock down Marky. He needs to run it out. Isma goes and try and buy fate to the Cyclone, but that intimate weather is just a gust in the face of 6, and he cannot execute Marky. Staying alive and health bar so damn low. Frozen Blaze, Fresskowy goes down. That's the Gragas dead. You lose 1, and Baron and everyone else has to run for the hills. And there's already a wave prepped nice and early to go in and start sieging onto these inhibitor turrets, and maybe even more.
Yeah, I mean, Fresskowy dead. I mean, the health bars are quite low for a couple of members. Just look for the resets. Look for another wave, maybe. Oh, man, Marky actually teleported. And it was on a control ward, but it's fine. He's going to be able to walk it out just about. I say that. The pullback's there, Sam. It's quite tanky on Supa.
So Stam low, 610 down to 20% HP, and that Jinx, yes, she's down, but she's not out quite yet. One good team fight, one set of resets, and the excitement might be enough to knock Macko off their high horse, or at least Skarl. Dragon spawning, 12 seconds. I don't know whether Macko have reset a little late. I think they might not quite get there in time, but check out that inventory of Varus. Death Cap complete, and Elixir of Sorcery.
So much AP about to be online. And I'd say if someone gets caught in the chains of corruption, Sam, they're gonna get one shot. Plain and simple. Here comes the charge again.
Oh, they going on in. Leroy Jenkins, I've heard that one before. Oh, the Raid boss last game will have the player this time around. 610 looking for the flank. It's going to be a hit for the chains of corruption. Piercing arrow takes Marky to the grave. That rock is humbled. Mind out. Alvaro dies as well. It's already 2 dead. It's looking like more. It's a whole damn wipe in favor of Macko. PG Nats, they've waited for so long. Macko, they've waited for so long. They don't just make quarters. They make it in first place. They do it in damn style.
Macko are gonna end the game here, and for the first time since spring 2021, when Makers were able to squeak in second place with a 3-3 scoreline, PG Nats will have a new champion crowned in that record as they make it in the first time as the first seed in that many years at 5-1. Excellent showing from Makers. And I mean, from Makers, because I've Macko Makers, you know.
They've taken that crown on. It's been a long, long time, and they did it in phenomenal style. I'm not even really sure where to go from that in a lot of ways. It was madness in the early game. We were losing it. Teams were losing it. And in some ways, you know, for all that we were having a bit of a giggle, you can kind of understand why, in the sense that both teams were desperately looking for those angles, and just those nerves, that tentativeness, that tension that's in play when you both know what's on the line. And yes, both teams will be going forward, but Movistar Riders will be kicking themselves. They lost the unfortunate game earlier on. And we'll go back again. It's this play. It's this one that goes a little bit wild, and just watch the turnaround damage that comes out of VZZ, who was extraordinary on Varus.
Yeah, man. VZZ, Varus, he's just too good on it. And I suspect moving forward, he's not going to gain too much access to this pick, because he is just significantly better on it than a lot of other AD carries, and he's just so much more threatening. And Movistar did not have the correct kind of answer into it, unfortunately. Time and time again, he was left untouched, and I felt like, to be honest with you, so was Supa at times, but he was just so far behind in gold on the opposite end, the Spanish representative AD carry, that couldn't really match what VZZ was doing even in a situation like this. You know, Supa untouched past the first part, but look how much damage VZZ is putting into the front line at times. Just feels a little bit too much to deal with.
You sort of see it in this fight, what Movistar Riders comp was supposed to do. We said it was supposed to be difficult, and it never got to that point. I mean, this is the other fight where it felt like maybe, just maybe, Supa could find their way back into the game, but couldn't quite get the excitement to be online for long enough to run over the back end of the fight. I think it ends in a 2-for-2 this one, and even then, it still gets really scary. You've still got the Kled, you've still got the Akali to deal with. It's not a one-threat comp for all that the Varus was the point of focus for us and both teams.
Yeah, exactly. It was a point of focus, the Varus, but I think, like you were mentioning, or sort of alluding to there, by the end of it, it was also 6-10. It was Acid being massive, bulky frontliners or just straight up disruptors. VZZ again, just excellent stopwatch in this case. And it felt like Movistar, like you said, like we mentioned time and time again, the composition, it can work kind of front to back, use the big health bars, all the CC, the wombo combo could come out. But it felt like we never got to see it, unfortunately. We never really got to see that big moment where 3-4 members kind of just stack up.
This was as close as it got.
Yeah, and I mean, you can honestly credit Macko for remaining relatively disciplined in the team fights and skirmishes in the regards of, you know, waiting for the Malphite ult to be out until we really stack up on top of each other. But unfortunately, for the sake of Movistar, that discipline was there pretty much start to finish.
And, you know, you kill VZZ once, but just wasn't enough. And he wasn't even the one doing the most damage to Kled. Yes, again, those numbers are inflated somewhat because it's into the Malphite.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if those numbers are inflated, because I feel like he was I think this is actually a true data Kled damage game, or like a top lane like that.
Well, you know what? We can ask, because you know who's ready for an interview? It's Acid.
Hello.
I'm hoping he's here. I was told him already. There he is.
There you
I'm
go.
here. It's all good.
Congrats, I suppose, first off on making it to not only quarterfinals, but in first place. What a group stage for you guys. How does it feel to be coming out here? Were you expecting to come out in first place when you came into this group?
I guess being from Italy, you never really expect it, because I feel like for me, every U Masters has always been like, okay, this is the year, you know, we're going to get out of the groups, we're going to do well, but it just never works out. And I feel like this time we're screening really good teams and doing pretty well. So I felt like we were in pretty good shape going into U Masters, but obviously Foot and Movistar and Aegis are like really strong opponents, so it wasn't going to be a walk in the park or anything. But I think in the last 2 weeks, we've gotten really good at team fights and just playing disciplined and like pulling everyone back and not just going for stupid plays. But I think that it definitely is a surprise. I feel like it still hasn't kicked in for me that we got first seed and we're in quarterfinals. But at the end of the day, job's not finished and gotta keep going.
Okay. Obviously, as the game went on, you're saying the team fight's getting more disciplined, but the early game was a little bit mad, I think it's fair to say. We saw a lot of shenanigans in bot lane, and not to throw you under the bus, but maybe I'll throw you into top lane tower instead, because what was going on with some of those attempted dives? 'Cause it didn't quite work out for you early on against one of those two 1v1s.
I mean, I feel like it's just top lane syndrome. You know, you have Demolish, you see it ticking down bit by bit. Just have to go for it. I feel like I was just I'm a bit tired at this point. I haven't really eaten much aside from like 3 apples. But I think it was just stupid what I was doing. I just went for it and I got punished, rightly so. But I can't really speak for bot lane. I think there was a fiesta going on the entire map, but it was fun at least. I hope for you guys as well.
Yeah. We had a great time.
We had a lovely time, mate. Firstly, as well, before asking my question, get some food in you afterwards. Celebrate, you deserve it. Secondly, there's a fair amount of very strong top laners remaining in the tournament moving towards quarters. Obviously, you are limited being the first seed, only drawing second seeds, but are there any top laners that potentially you hope to match up against that you look forward to just laning versus?
I think Ragnar from Geo has been looking very good. Like, every game he's played, it seems like very in control, doesn't really make much mistakes. And I feel like one time when I played in-houses against him as well, like on the first 3 waves, you can already feel that this guy's pretty good.
He's real good.
Yeah, and LDLC top laner as well, Cries. But other than that, I don't really have anyone in mind specific, but I think it will be fun nonetheless. They're all pretty good.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Congrats on the win today. Congrats on not just on coming first as well. We'll see you in quarterfinals. Now go eat, go celebrate, and we'll see you around as the tournament progresses.
Thank you very much. Very glad to finally be here in the interview room. See you guys.
There you go. Oh.
Well, it was fun to throw him under the
was.
top lane tower bus. That was fun.
Was.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but we are going to have to very swiftly cut to break according to production, because when we come back, we might well have a tiebreaker on our hands. Unicorns of Love Sexy Edition versus LDLC to see who will be the champion of Group C. Stick around. We'll be back very, very shortly.